Out of thin air, the Giants bats woke up in a big way on Wednesday, launching home run after home run in the road trip finale. And the orange and black were able to leave Coors Field in grand fashion. Now the Giants return home with Tim Hudson on the mound. Hudson will look to keep rolling against the Tribe. Indians, Giants, next.
The homestand begins tonight. We're at AT&T Park as we get ready for Giants baseball. Yeah, it's a bobblehead night as well. Fans are filing in game one of this three-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, this is a bigger night than just the bobblehead night, so let's kind of forget about that. And let's talk about the Giants and how they need to start out this homestand on a good note. Tim Hudson on the mound.
Well, they got the right guy on the hill. Tim Hudson's been fantastic. And this will be the first time that he's actually pitching after a Giants victory. So you got to like your chances anytime he goes out there on the hill. But if you look at these teams on paper, they're pretty evenly matched. Giants 12-10 with their record. The Indians 11-11. They both scored 93 runs. One team hits 230 with runners in scoring position. The other one 227. ERA is about similar. So you have to go to the X factor. And the X factor is in 132 years of Giants baseball, they have never lost on Dwayne Kuiper bobblehead night.
You don't get this stuff anyplace else. The varsity, by the way, is they're all in the lineup today against the Indians. All right, stay tuned. We'll take you to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
excited when the men in orange and black get back home to AT&T Park. Tonight they begin a 3-game series, an interleague series against the Cleveland Indians. Pretty special moment to kick things off. You are about to see the descendants of our own Dwayne Kuiper. You're looking at Cole and Dannon. They're going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Hey, the apples do not fall far from the tree. Look at Dannon with the little elbow grind there. Yeah, she threw a strike. Cole, not so much. That's all right. We can work on it. The reason they're out there tonight, it is the Giants giveaway Dwayne Kuiper home run bobblehead night. And boy, has this been a coveted item. 40,000 fans getting it. But hey, listen, Dwayne hit one career home run. So we're actually going to show you what made Dwayne such a great big leaguer and earned him the nickname of Smooth. It's his defense. It's our AT&T U-Burst. Rewind tonight. He was one of the best in the game at second base for the Indians during the 70s, led the American League in fielding percentage in 76 and 79. And for his career, he ranks in the top 60 for all-time best fielding percentage by a second baseman. We all know how loved Dwayne is right here in the Bay Area, but in Cleveland in 2004, the fans voted Dwayne one of the 100 best players in Tribe history, and so he's in the Indians uniform here. You're going to hear Smooth shortly after the break. Kruk and Kite have lineups and first pitch. Stay with us.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought.
Well, Tim Hudson leads the Giants out of the dugout as we get ready for baseball. It's been a rainy day in the Bay Area. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. It's a cool 52 degrees, winds at 12 miles per hour. You see the humidity, and as I mentioned, it's a cool night. As Hudson loosens up, this will be the lineup that he will face. It'll be Bourne in the leadoff spot, followed by Swisher, Kipnis, and Santana. Michael Brantley, take a look at those RBIs. He's got 19. Cabrera, Chisenhall, and Murphy, followed by Carlos Carrasco. He will pitch and bat ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be Tim Hudson, the 38-year-old right-hander, 6'1", 175-pounder. This is what he has done in 4 starts, 2-1 with a 2.40 ERA. And look at the walk total. No walks in 30 innings. He's allowed 23 base runners and 20 strikeouts against the 0 walk total. It's hard to believe he has a loss. Lifetime against these Cleveland Indians, he's had 8 starts against them. He's 1-2 with a 6.33 ERA. And if you look at his numbers against just about every other major league team, he hasn't had any bad teams, but the Tribe has given him problems. When Hudson's right, you're going to see a lot of ground balls. He'll cut and sink the fastball. He's got a curveball, slider, a split, and a changeup. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Tim Hudson tonight, starting the Giants outfield from left to right. They'll set it up with Morse, Pagan, and Pitts. That's your outfield. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side. Hicks and Belt on the right side of the infield. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
And here's the first pitch of the ball game, and we get started with a called strike. So we get started right on time. Bourne, very fast, takes a breaking ball wide, with Pablo Sandoval inching in at third. Everybody aware of how speedy Michael Bourne is. One ball and one strike. And that pitch is high. The home plate umpires, one of the younger umpires we haven't seen before, and that's Marcus Petillo.
We don't know anything about his strike zone. We're seeing him for the first time like you are.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Good. Simple.
The rest of the lineup for the umps will be Diaz, Berry, and Nelson, and that goes from first to third. So it's a good crew. Bourne 4 for 19 lifetime against Tim Hudson. Bounces this one to Hicks. Hicks gets an in-betweener but stays with it, and that's how this game gets started.
All right, time now for our Nissan keys to the game. And the Giants broke out offensively the last game in Coors Field. And what do you say? We have a little Coors Field carryover. I'm not saying 6 home runs, but that offense was awful fun to watch. Number 2, bobblehead magic. That's right, Dwayne Kuiper bobblehead. They've never lost a game on Dwayne Kuiper bobblehead night, and so we need some more of that bobblehead magic, and that's all I'm saying. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
That's all you're saying?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Well, here's Swisher. Swisher drives it out into Triples Alley. Can anybody get there? And this is going to really tick off Swisher.
Yeah, he just got AT&T. This is there are 2 hot spots in this Cleveland Indian Ball Club that have had great success against Tim Hudson. They're both ex-teammates. Nick Swisher and Jason Giambi with good numbers. Swisher 3 for 4 lifetime, and he nuts this ball. And we thought off the crack of the bat it was out of here. It barely got to the track. Welcome to AT&T, Mr. Swisher.
Huh? And then the big smile, like, seriously?
He got that one, no doubt.
Here's Jason Kipnis, the very talented second baseman for these Indians, as he takes a called strike. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. And he drives one into right field for a base hit. So Kipnis with a 2-out single, bringing Carlos Santana to the plate. Santana is off to an incredibly slow start. You see, he's hitting 137. He's 2 for his last 18, and he's a young hitter that's very good. So the Indians are doing with Santana like the Giants are doing with Pablo Sandoval, and they're hoping that they start hitting soon, as there's a pitch down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Santana is catching tonight. And he, like Sandoval, is a switch hitter. So a lot of similarities between these two. Santana also plays third. And Pablo Sandoval came up as a catcher. So 2-0 to Santana. And that's going to be called high. It's 3-0. Overshift is on for Santana. Is the guy that leads this Indians team in RBIs is on deck, and that's Michael Brantley.
Right now, Tim Hudson has not established a knee-high location, and that's something he has not had a problem with in his previous starts.
There's a strike. It's 3-1.
Whatever you have in the bullpen, it's never the same when you get out in the middle of the big diamond. Things have a tendency to change, a little amped up. And it takes a while to find a release point. Some pitchers find it within 10 pitches. Some guys can't find it within 40 pitches. But there is always a period of vulnerability before you settle into a comfortable rhythm. And for Tim Hudson, it's always pretty simple. Just get the ball down around the knees and everything sort of falls into place.
And the walk.
And the first walk of the season.
How about that? So strange feeling for Hudson. So here's Brantley. So that's where it ends at 30 2/3 innings.
Right behind the Babe and Tiny.
And just ahead of the Babe.
A lot of Babes back then.
So here's Brantley. There's a strike to Brantley. Babes was a first name then. Now, at least in this park, it's a last name.
Gamer Babe. Absolutely. So the Babes are still as strong as they ever have been in the history of baseball.
0-1 to Brantley. Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. You can almost see Hudson just trying to figure it out on the mound.
Well, every pitch you throw, you adjust off it. If you make a perfect pitch, you try and duplicate it. But early in the game, it's all about adjustments, you know. And, you want to compete, you want to pitch the situation, but you are definitely thinking about mechanics until you get locked in.
2-1.
He has been efficient. If you look at last season, his pitches per hitter were 3.76. He's cut that down. And quick outs, anything in 3 pitches or less, that's what you're looking for. And how about pitches per inning? Last year he averaged 15.3. So far this year, 12.7. And that is outstanding. This next pitch will be number 17.
So it's 3-1. On deck is Drupal Cabrera.
He's out of whack right now, and out of whack for him means he doesn't trust 2 or 3 pitches. When he's going good, he's got 6 different types of movement he can give you. But right now, I don't know if he has that type of confidence to throw certain pitches in this situation at 3 ball counts. So you know you have to get in that strike zone. But right now, the pitches that he can guarantee are going to get in there are limited.
So Brantley steps out.
And for a hitter, I mean, if you know he's not getting the changeup over, the slider over, you're not going to think about anything but a fastball right here. You're going to look to either side of the plate, whatever your preference is. And this is where a pitcher is vulnerable.
Got it. Belt in foul territory, and that'll end the inning.
So Hudson figures his way out of it. It's Pagan coming up. And now it's time for the Giants facing Carlos Carrasco. This will be their lineup. It'll be Pagan and then Hunter Pence, who is now swinging the bat, followed by Belt, Posey, and Morse. Pablo Sandoval will hit 6th, Crawford 7th, Hicks, who's swinging the bat as well, 8th, and Hudson will pitch and bat 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Cleveland Indians, Carlos Carrasco making start number 4. He's had a rough start. 27-year-old right-hander out of Barquisimeto, Venezuela, 6'3", 212-pounder. He's a 3-year veteran, and when you take your at-bats against this guy, you're going to see a good fastball, and that really is his best weapon. Right now, he doesn't have a great command of the other pitches. Look at the 8 walks in 16 innings. That has been a problem. But 17 strikeouts in 16 innings gives you an idea that he has good stuff. He will give you good locations to hit if you're patient with him. Again, a mid to high 90s fastball, big curveball. He's got a slider. He'll throw a changeup, just the basic 4 pitches. But right now, his best specialty pitch is that curveball. Let's take a look at the defense. The Indians will play behind Carrasco. Starting in their outfield, it'll be Brantley, Bourne, and Murphy. And not really any standout arm out there. On the left side of the infield will be Cabrera and Chisenhall. On the right side will be Kipnis and Swisher. And behind the plate in the squat will be Carlos Santana. Got a couple of his albums.
Yes, you do, and you like him as well.
Yeah, I do.
So here's Angel Pagan. Pagan to lead things off. Hitting .329, a home run, 12 RBIs. And Pagan takes one wide. It's 1 ball, and that's about an easy 95 as you're going to see.
He's got TNT in that shoulder. He does. I mean, he could get a fastball going and ride that for a long time. We're going to see a lot of fastballs. That was a 2-seamer at 93. So he will mix the grips and the movement on you.
Pence to follow. And it's down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And there's the changeup. I mean, that's always a key for a guy that throws 95 and up. If he can get a changeup over, that's a rough combination.
It's 3-1. The Giants come into tonight's action after a 2-4 road trip. They're 12-10. And the Indians, as Mike mentioned in the open, right around the same area. They're 11-11. As Pagan shoots this into center field, a base hit.
Pagan feeling a little bit better. He had some knee problems coming out of the lineup the last game in Colorado. Ask him how it is. He says it's doable with treatment, but it's going to be something I'm going to have to pay attention to. Take a look at our X-Mo. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. He loads up on that backside. get that front foot down, then let your lower foundation put you in position to use your hands. And it's always about balance. And that was perfect.
So here's Hunter Pence. And you see the note, Hunter Pence has started every game as he did last year.
And he's starting to heat up.
And here he takes a pitch high. You can see now we're getting a better idea of Patillo's strike zone, as that pitch was called high.
Yeah, I think he's a low ball guy.
Hunter Pence on Wednesday, 3 for 4. He was on base 5 times. Wraps this one into right center field. This is hit a ton. It's going to bounce up against the wall, and Pagan is hitting the bag at third. He's going to score easily. Pence is headed to third, and that's where he'll end up. It's 1-0 Giants.
Starting to get hot. And when he gets hot, he backspins the opposite gap. You'll see him hit a lot of balls with carry to right center. And he is death on mistakes up. Talk about Carrasco. If you wait him out, he will elevate. He will give you good pitches to hit. And this is an absolute vintage Hunter Pence hack when he's going good. For Pagan, cruising at about 80%. And watch Pence go.
Pence is not an 80% guy.
No. You seen him brush his teeth?
He has no enamel left. Here's Belt with the infield back, and he takes a breaking ball down low. Kipnis is in shallow right field. We watched the Indians do this in spring training. They had over shifts, triple shifts, double shifts.
And this really is an extreme shift there, as you see the wishbone defense employed.
And Pence just barely hit his bat. It's a ball and a strike.
But we saw these extreme defenses put on by the Tribe against the Giants. Now you would expect maybe the Padres, who are in the Giants division, maybe the Dodgers, but it was the Indians who never played them. Yeah. And they were working the day we saw.
Well, they definitely led the Cactus League in shifts. 1 and 2. That's pretty nasty right there.
Well, that's the pitch you got to lay off of, and you really have to make him prove you can get it over. The problem is, you're geared up for 95 plus, and you have to cheat a little bit to get started at that velocity. And out of the hand, that changeup looks like 95, and then you get after it, and it's not there. It's tough, even if it's out of the strike zone down.
Belt pulls it foul.
Take a look at the spray chart where Brandon Belt does his damage, and look at the green dots up there in the bleachers. All of his home runs to the pull side of the field, and for the most part everything is center field to right, a few over to left field, which is why you see the shift. He's a pull hitter, and they're playing the pull defense.
So Belt in a battle, and he just barely got a piece, and that got Santana.
That got him good. I think it's a shoulder shot.
Their base is starting to look pretty good for Santana.
I mean, you cannot prepare yourself for this. You're completely relaxed. Hit you on the shoulder point, and that'll stay with you a week. The good thing about that is it's not your throwing arm. It's worse on that side.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Low to Belt, 2 and 2.
That's a good pitch. You have a 1-2 count on a guy. You have the ability to go down below the strike zone, especially after he's already swung through 1.
Got him. So a strikeout. Now it's left up to Buster Posey.
That's a frustrating at bat for an RBI guy. I mean, he really feels like he left one out there. Indians are given the run. I mean, any ground ball hit back up the middle would be an easy score for Hunter Pence.
Buster Posey with 10 RBIs. He's hitting .229.
You see the shortstop slightly to pull, second baseman slightly to pull, but very deep. So clearly, Terry Francona, the skipper of the Indians, is trying to stay out of a big inning.
And he also might feel like they've got Hudson a little bit on the ropes, so they can afford to give up a run or two. Two balls and no strikes. And it's 3-0. And that's Michael Morse on deck. Pence at third. And Posey backs off. Padres make their first visit to AT&T Park. Next homestand. All three games are 7:15 starts. Check out the dynamic deals for all three Padre games. Tickets start as low as $8. That's right, $8. Visit sfgiants.com/dynamic deal. I don't think Carrasco or Terry Francona really cared if they walked Buster Posey or not. Aren't you glad you don't have to read that promo anymore?
Well, you know what? I'm so happy I got one of those. I can't even tell you. It looks exactly like it, too.
Yeah. Now or then? Here's Morse hitting .279. He hits one high and deep to right. And the wind is going to knock this one down as Murphy's going to make the catch. Coming to the score is Pence, and Morse can't believe it.
Yeah, I think he expected more. At the very least, it's a good situation with that. He hit the fly they were looking for, but
he's laughing.
He just got AT&T'd.
Well, you and I had this theory that the ball was carrying to right field now because of the open area underneath the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I'm rethinking that whole thing.
It got beat up on that one.
I really thought it was going to be one of the few home runs to right field from a right-handed hitter.
There's only been 33 since this ballpark opened up, hit to right field by right-handed hitters, and most of those were day games with no wind.
Here's Sandoval. Sandoval takes a breaking ball down low.
It's 20 pitches now for Carrasco.
See, the Panda 2 for his last 20. And that's slashed foul. Buster Posey, it looked like Buster Posey was thinking about going. And Buster Posey's been known maybe 3 times a year to sneak attack somebody on the bases.
You forget about it. You just don't think he's going to go.
So it's a ball and a strike. Dodgers are hosting the Rockies tonight. That game just underway. Rockies have hit a couple of home runs. They lead LA 2-1. 1-1 pitch is not going to happen. So we got cat and mouse between Carrasco and Sandoval. And a swing and a foul. It's 1-2. One and two. Two balls, two strikes.
just a little underneath a lot of those fastballs, which is what's causing Carrasco to miss high. And high fastballs get hit.
This is out to Murphy and right, and that's going to end the inning. So Hunter Pence, Pagan, Morse will focus on Pence. This is a triple, and it's 2-0 Giants. Park. We're with Julie Inkster, and you might remember her. She's a terrific golfer. She's born in Santa Cruz, and of all the great things that you've done, Julie, you're a Giants fan.
Huge Giants fan. So I watch them. I listen to you guys on the road, Slingbox, you name it. I'm on it.
Well, that's good.
And you're here for just fun, right?
Just for fun, yes. No, we're playing a little golf tournament, so.
How was Lake Merced out there today? Was it wet?
It was very wet, very windy, and very long.
Playing long.
Playing long, yeah.
Welcome to Northern California.
Yeah, but I'm used to that.
Here's Cabrera, who takes a pitch that Hudson thought was a strike.
So, Julie, that's not the first time you've worn that jersey. It looks pretty good on you.
I like orange. I grew up in the Bay Area, and I've been a Giants fan forever. My dad kind of got me into it, and I follow along with him.
So you were at Candlestick with the old man and
going
to games as a kid?
Candlestick. That was tough watching.
So what was your impression, having grown up at Candlestick, walking in here for the first time?
Most improved. I mean, I go to a lot of ballparks along the way, and by far this is the best. Not only the fan base, but the view you guys have up here. I thought I had a pretty good job, but looking here, you guys got a good job.
It's either going to be Crawford or Sandoval. And Sandoval doing the pop-up dance, and he puts it away for out number one.
So, Julie, you're a Hall of Famer. You've had a great career. You played everywhere. What's your favorite all-time course?
Well, of course, I like to play every day. It's Pasatiempo over in Santa Cruz.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. I was very fortunate to grow up there, and I play over there. But I think on the road, Muirfield Village in Columbus, Ohio. Love that golf
course.
One. Good food too.
Here's Chisholm. You have not played Ives Grove in Sturtevant, have you? Wisconsin?
They have golf courses in Wisconsin.
Well,
they got some pretty good ones.
It's next to my dad's farm, so I thought maybe you'd
well, they're only open 2 months a year, for crying out loud.
6-hole? Is it a 6-holer?
Yeah, maybe 8.
Right, yeah.
You play number 8 twice.
Yeah.
1 ball and 1 strike to Chisenhall.
So you are an Alistair McKenzie fan.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Have you played Sharps Park?
Sharps Park, yes. Got to play Augusta last year for the first time, which was it was on my bucket list. So that was a treat.
How'd you do?
Well, let's see. I think I shot a couple over. Not too bad.
You were nails.
Yeah.
Well, how about this tournament for you? I mean, do you want to talk about it? Or
yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's I don't get that many opportunities to play in front of a home crowd. So, or like Lakemer said, name of the tournament's called Swinging Skirts. Not many skirts out there today. Yeah. But they've done a really good job. Now, the Taiwanese sponsor, they brought over 20 of their young protégés, and it gives us an opportunity to play out here. And Lake Merced is all you can handle. I think 600 is leading right now, and it's a pretty good score.
Quick 0-2 to David Murphy.
But the LPGA has changed a little bit since you first started playing.
Yeah, it's definitely a worldwide tour. I mean, we have a lot of different diversified group. We got Europeans, we have Asians, we have you name it, Canadians, Americans. So I mean, it's fun. But the problem, a lot of it is, these girls are young. I mean, they're younger than my kids. I'm playing against 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and they can really play, and it's fun to watch them play.
1-2 to David Murphy. And Murphy's going to bounce this one to Belt. Because this inning went so fast, we're going to ask Julie to hang around for another half inning. Here at AT&T Park, it's the Giants 2 and the Indians nothing. Julie Inkster. And Julie, I'm going to ask you to explain what was going on the field before this game. Now, these are a couple of the golfers, correct?
And Paula and Michelle chipped to Ryan Bogason and Matt Kane. Paula got a flyer off that AstroTurf.
She got her pitch. What are you talking about? She was licking sinker.
She almost took off the fan's head. Next time I told Matt, you better put a helmet on.
Yeah, we almost needed the home run call on that chip. Here's Crawford in a big swing and a miss. No balls in one strike.
We got to see that one again.
That was awesome. That was almost as good as the mayor of Cincinnati throwing out the first pitch.
They asked me to do that, and I delegated it.
Here it is. All right.
Watch
and
Paula.
Here's the pitch.
Yeah.
She hits it high. She hits it deep.
See, that's the one thing. You should be able to do home run calls on great drives.
Yeah, you should.
Hey, we got a rainbow here, too. Right above the Coke bottle.
See, Julie, you show up, we get rainbows.
Unbelievable.
And right over the Coors Light. It's all good.
So it's got to be tough for you to get to the ballpark because baseball season goes parallel to the LPGA. And
yeah, but I get out here quite a bit. But as I listen to you guys or watch you guys on the road. So it's, I mean, with modern technology these days, it's easy to follow the Giants.
Well, we get comments from women that say you guys actually speak to us more than our husbands do.
That's a good thing, right?
That means you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Crawford skies one to right. Murphy's going to move over, as will Bourne. And Bourne will make the catch. And that'll bring up Brandon Hicks.
So let's talk about Lake Merced again, because you're here, you're playing a tournament in front of the home crowd. You got a good following out there.
Yeah.
But the conditions out there were vintage Northern California, windy, wet, long. Do you know, just going into a golf course, that it's going to be tough to shoot par because of the conditions?
Yeah, it's funny, being from this area, I knew it was going to be cold and windy. Rain was kind of a plus or whatever, but everybody asked me from out of state, it's going to be beautiful, 75, 80. I said, no. I said, bring your warm stuff. Because, you go 15, 20 miles south, and it's 20, 25 degrees different. So Lake Merced's a good golf course. I don't know if you two have gotten out there to play, but it's very challenging. You got to work the ball right to left to right. The greens are small and very fast and firm. So it's set up kind of like an open, which is great.
Yeah, I have played it. It's a beautiful course. And it's not easy.
No. Especially when you got to count them all.
Well, we don't like that.
No.
Pitch is down low. It's 1-2 to Brandon Hicks with Tim Hudson to follow. We're with Julie Inkster, who's here for the LPGA golf tournament.
Yeah.
The swinging skirts.
I think if you're over 50, they should give you a couple mulligans anyway.
Yeah. There's a pitch in tight, 2-2. Beautiful night. Rain has departed. We've got rainbows, we've got golf. We've got families here that are enjoying, well, maybe not this pop-up to Swisher. Swisher puts it away, 2 outs.
See, that's one thing about golf and baseball. Baseball, you get jammed and you break your bat. I mean, it's kind of hard to break a club unless you break it yourself and hit it on the ground.
But, 20 years ago when they didn't have those nice big-headed golf clubs, you play at 7 in the morning and hit a little stinger. You can feel it on your hands. So
you
same
can
thing.
get jammed in
you
golf.
You can get jammed. I got jammed a lot today.
Here's Hudson. Hudson's a pretty good hitter, and he goes around, and it's 0-1. The Giants and Indians, game 1 of this 3-game series. Giants scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. So Carrasco trying to settle down a little bit. Well, I got to believe, though, that if you're raised in this kind of weather environment, Santa Cruz, you move around, by the time you get out there around the country, you played in just about all kinds of weather.
All kinds of weather, yeah. So usually, you go back east and you get a little rain and you get thunderstorms. Out here, it rains and it just rains all day. So you got to play until the greens go under, which we did today.
Yeah, judging by the reaction to the crowd, this guy made a great catch. Or he didn't. It's foul back again, 1-2.
You got to bring your mitt to the yard, right?
Yeah.
Bring your glove to the yard. Come on.
Maybe you got to put it on, though. Let's see.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, he did. He had it played perfectly.
Standing.
It's an old player right there.
Hudson taps this one to Carrasco. And while Carrasco throws this, we'll thank Julie for stopping by.
Thank you.
And
Thanks
best
for
of
having
luck.
me. All right. Good seeing you guys.
Here at AT&T Park, it's 2-0 Giants.
have the honor and the privilege to interview Katie Ulander. You probably recognize her from the Sochi Olympics, where you placed fourth in the world in skeleton, which is extremely scary, and you have such a cool connection to the Giants. Tell us about it.
Well, my father was a Major League Baseball player, Ted Ulander, and he became very good friends with Charlie Manuel and Brian Sabian. Brian brought my father in as an advanced scout, and yeah, my passion is strong for baseball, and it's a sport that I think really relates well to the Olympics. Those batters, the players go up to the plate against the odds every time, and they have a true grit, a determination, and perseverance that shines through and shows what it takes to be a world champion, an Olympian, or the best at whatever you do at home. So,
and your father actually played with the Indians and the Big Red Machine, which is the ring you're wearing, right?
Yeah, the 1972 Big Red Machine. Yeah, George Foster, Johnny Bench, Tony Oliva. It was a great time for baseball, and the traditionalist view, I think, is still strong within the sport, which is why I love it so much.
Now, we all know the work ethic going into the Olympics, what an Olympian goes up against is incredible. And we kind of feel that way about Hunter Pence, who played every single game last season. His work ethic is incredible, and you got a chance to meet him earlier today. How was that?
It was awesome to meet another world champion and to see someone that has the same Olympic spirit that I experienced at the Olympics. Meeting other athletes of the same caliber is just awesome. And to see a baseball player that wants to play, that wants to put their best out, you know, not caring about the money or the fame or the glory, but the love of the game, that was special.
So we don't actually have to wait till the next Winter Olympics to see you, because we might see you in Rio, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to try to make the Summer Games as an Olympic lifter, which is the clean and jerk and the snatch. You combine the total to try to get a medal. It's going to be really tough, but I'm always up for a challenge. So.
All right. Well, Dwayne and Mike, if you don't already know, she's an absolute stud. Those foul balls that fly into the dugout, that's about how fast Katie's flying down the track in skeleton. Katie Ulander, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, good story. It is a good story. She was fun to watch.
She absolutely was. And I didn't know much about skeleton, but I do know this. You got to have some guts to do it, and she stole the show.
Oh, man. Plus, her dad was a very good player. There's the Reds World Series ring from 1972.
I miss Ted. He was a good man, good baseball man.
We go to Colorado, we'd see him every time.
Every time. Have dinner with him, talk ball. And he would always talk about Katie. Very proud of his daughter.
2-1 to Michael Bourne, who bounced out to Hicks to open up the ball game. Outside 3-1. The danger of walking Bourne is the danger of actually it being a leadoff double because of his speed. He will drive this one to right. Pence is looking up, and it is off the bricks. Pence will knock it down, and Bourne now is going to head for 3. And the throw is going to be late. So just that little piece of timing where Pence couldn't hang on to it, and it went from a double to a triple.
Well, and with Michael Bourne's speed, he's unforgiving, and he's watching for a very thing that he got. A little bit of a bobble right there. And there you see, he sees the bobble, and he knows. He doesn't even look at his third base coach. That's his call. One more look at the bobble as it comes off high. He's thinking, I got this one. And a little bit of a bobble, and it is absolutely been ruled correctly. It's a triple. It's not a double in the air. It's a triple, as it should be.
Giants will play the infield back with Swisher at the plate. Swisher hammered one into right center field that Pagan ran down. So that ball got over the head of Pence very quickly. This is low.
Yeah, he's got a great eye. He will definitely make you throw strikes. One thing about Swisher, I mean, Came up through the A's organization and was one of his strengths when he got to the big league level. And he just does not help a pitcher out.
He was a Moneyball guy.
Yep.
And he shoots one into left field, a base hit. Pagan's going to get to it. Swisher will stop at first. It's a 2-1 ball game. Ownage is ownage.
Yeah, he came into this game 3 for 4 lifetime against Hudson. Absolutely hit one on the screws. His first at bat to right center of on the warning track. This was the first inning that we're talking about. This at bat, you can see middle in right at the belt, and he gets every bit of this. And totally gets AT&T. Welcome to AT&T Meet.
So here's Kipnis, who singled in the first. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. Outfield straight away. Sandoval off the line at third. Belt holding on Swisher, who does not have a steal this year. And another strike, so it's 0-2.
Yeah, front door sinker, strike one, and he throws a breaking ball on the inside corner, strike two. So bang, bang, very quickly on top.
Tried to tease him away. It's 1-2.
That is a perfect 0-2 pitch, and a lot of umpires say, see you later.
And he goes back there again. It's 2-2. So Swisher at first with the RBI single. That's foul past Belt.
Make a play. Good man. Takes it serious.
Yeah.
Found a kid. Good fans.
Two balls, two strikes. Jason Kipnis. Out of play. He's got a pretty quick swing.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a load. It's a pretty direct route to the ball. They tried to work that inside corner. That actually went on the outside corner with movement. They came across the plate. And that is not where Hudson wanted that pitch. That is to the strength of Kipnis. Kipnis, Chicagoland boy out of Northbrook, Illinois.
Pagan into center field. He'll put it away.
Well, it's the 8th year of Comcast Morse All-Star Teacher Program presented by Provident Credit Union. Tonight's nominee is Nicole Elwood from Twin Hills Charter Middle School in Sebastopol. Nicole is one of the 5 finalists with a chance to win $20,000 for her school. She is a 7th and 8th grade special ed teacher. Provident Credit Union will donate $10,000 to the prize. She is very involved with helping the community, organizing an annual 10 days of giving program in which the school donates gifts and food to 20 families from the school who are in need. To vote for Nicole Elwood, visit www.csnbayery.com/all-star-teacher. So good luck, Nicole.
Here's Santana, who takes down low. Santana drew a walk in the first. The Giants 2, Indians 1 here in the third inning. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Oh, that's a good changeup right there.
That's where Hudson wants to be.
Go Giants. Vote Elwood. Nicole Elwood, our favorite all-star teacher. Got lots of fans up at Sebastopol.
Sandoval at the shortstop position with the overshift. In tight. 2 balls and 1 strike.
So who was your favorite all-time teacher?
Mind?
Yep.
It was either Miss Van Dyke or Mr. DeYoung.
See, you never forgot him.
I just made that up. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You did not.
I did not. 2 and 2.
Good changeup. I got to go with Sister Mary Ann, first grade. She was nails.
Do you have a least favorite?
I got a 12 least favorite. There's a herd of those guys.
Hey, Johnny Lee's here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hudson spears it. They'll end the inning. Indians on the board. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Top of the order coming up.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Subaru. Test drive the 2014 Outback at your local Subaru retailer or visit Subaru.com to learn more.
It's a 2-1 ball game. Giants on top. Sellout crowd here tonight. Friday night baseball. A lot of orange, as you would expect. Pagan opened up the bottom of the 1st inning with a base hit. And he eventually scored on the Pence triple. Here he takes high and wide, 1 ball and no strikes. This is going to be a quick homestand. 3 against the Indians, 3 against the Padres. Gone for a long time.
If they had an 18-day homestand, it'd be a quick homestand. That's the only bad thing about this ballpark.
Yeah.
When you're here, time flies.
A week from tonight will be, well, the game most likely will be over with in Atlanta.
Didn't have that problem with Candlestick. A week felt like a month there.
Pagan out of play. It's 1 and 2. Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles. Up high to Pagan. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's the one thing that Carrasco just has not showing tonight is a real good kill pitch. He's had some swing throughs on the changeup. That really has been his best one, but the curveball and the slider really haven't done much for him. And they're paying close attention in the Giants dugout about that very thing.
And Pagan's got another base hit. Check out our Togo's big play the Togo's way. 1954 World Series. Game 1, Dusty Rhodes. A walk-off. Willie Mays was on second base. This ball went 220 feet.
I mean, that was a first row and a short porch.
And that was the Polo Grounds, and that's what you'd get if you hit one down either line.
Go over to first base now. Pagan is not running 100%. I mean, he's out there with some tenderness in his knee. And I don't know if he's going to try and steal because of it.
He goes. Pence takes it. Santana can't hang on to it. And Pagan has got a steal.
Now, so much for a tender knee. I mean, he stole this thing. They know with Carrasco, his unload time is slow. And the Giants, I think this is their game plan tonight. When they had an opportunity where the base stealers against Carrasco, they're going to go. Now Santana, I mean, he's got a good arm, but you've got to give him some help as a pitcher.
I mean, look, the pitch to Pence was a strike. So Pagan now at second. And this is into right field, a base hit. Tim Flannery is going to wave in Pagan. Here's the throw, too late. And Pence has got another hit, and it's 3-1.
Stay hot. He saw his swing start to come together at the end of the road trip. And he has carried it right into the homestand with a 2-for-2 so far tonight and a couple RBIs. And Bruce Bochy has been waiting for this guy to heat up, and it's starting to happen. And when he's hot, he uses right field. Inside outs, they set up a hole the way they set their defense, and he exploited it. Let's see where the second baseman is. I mean, that is a ball. If he's at normal positioning, that's can of corn. And Tim Flannery, I mean, he initially puts up the stop, and then all of a sudden go.
And Belt with a foul out of play. Oh, and 1 to Brandon Belt. And Belt takes low. Buster Posey on deck. Quick toss, Pence back. Pence has got 4 steals on the year.
Pence wears his uniform like a NFL wide receiver. Pants above the knees.
Belt line drive foul.
All right, time now for our Geico quote. It comes from Brandon Belt tonight on about batting third. He says, I definitely feel comfortable there. It's a place where it gives you a lot of opportunity to create runs, and that's what you want to do as a hitter.
Again, the overshift is on. Chisenhall is playing at the shortstop position. Pence goes. Here's the throw, and they got him. Santana's throw was perfect.
Well, he does have a cannon. You don't really have to give this guy a whole lot of help. And if you're a catcher, if you're going to miss low.
The throw had a little tail to it.
The one hopper is Asdrubal Cabrera makes a nice play digging it out, putting the tag on. No doubt about that one. He was out.
Belt rolls this one foul. Buster Posey on deck. One out, nobody on, a run in. And Belt out swinging for the second time.
This time they elevate the fastball after establishing most of the at-bat down around the knees. A little sightline change, and they got him.
Buster Posey drew a walk in the first inning.
Pitch talking over with Brandon Hicks.
On the ground to third, and it'll be Chisenhall all the way across the diamond in time. Side retired. So action again between Pagan and Pence. We played 3 innings. It's 3-1 Giants.
The Giants game. Hey, we don't know who's actually running the show back at the office because all of Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is here at tonight's game celebrating our own Dwayne Kuiper and the giveaway sponsored by Comcast Sportsnet, the home run bobblehead, and they are having a blast with it. It's so much fun to watch. Dwayne, you are so loved, and of course I understand why. Dwayne and Mike.
Well, thanks, Amy. I think Amy's tired of doing the bobblehead hits. His Belt is going to take this last one out. Amy, I promise this is the last day of it.
I don't know. We have to bring it back.
I promise. Brantley bounces out. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera popped out to Sandoval in the second. And he takes a strike. This guy, if you look back at some of his years with the Indians, he's had some terrific seasons. An all-star. And he bounces this one to Belt. And Belt to Hudson. 2 down. Monday is Korean Heritage Night. Say, Repak, you're going to get that bobblehead, but you need a special ticket to get that. And the number to call is 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/special events. LPGA golfer with 2 outs. Here's Chisenhall.
She could play. It was interesting to hear Julie Inkster talk about all the young ladies that are coming into the LPGA. And she mentioned 17, 18-year-old girls that are just phenomenal players.
This is skied out to left. Michael Morse is underneath it. Still underneath it. And he makes the catch. Yeah. Mike, what would be better than a pretzel for me? Popcorn.
Popcorn. You got to have popcorn.
By authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Time to log on to csnbayarea.com and decide the player of the game. Your vote counts. Winner will be revealed during Giants postgame live. Follow the action on the diamond like never, ever before with enhanced Bloomberg stats and more. Giants in-game live on csnbayarea.com. Log in and you can vote right now. Or you can wait. Here's Morse. Morse with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Giants with a 3-1 lead. This is the Giants' half of inning number 4. And he bounces this one foul. Morse had a great game on Wednesday. Not only did he hit home runs in his first 2 times up, but he came up with the bases loaded in the 5th, and he had a line drive that DJ LeMahieu, who goes 6'4" at second, made a terrific lunging catch. This is hammered right center field. Bourne on the move. It is out of here. And that's a big boy home run right there. Home run number 5, make it number 6 on the season.
You're really seeing some incredible power from Hunter Pence and Michael Morse to the opposite field. And that really is the strength of their swing. And they'll tell you that is their key. When they're using that side of the field, everything's dialed. And that's a sensational display of strength right there.
Here's Sandoval. Well, he said it when the Giants had all the players back at the beginning of February for the Fan Fest. He said it doesn't really matter how big the park is. I'm going to hit him. Well, he just showed us.
He backed it up. I mean, we haven't seen too many right-handers go up there. We talked about the 33 that have been hit out to right field by right-handers since the doors opened in this ballpark in 2000. We haven't seen many go to right center field either.
Sandoval out of play. 1-2. So Morse with 2 RBIs. He's got 17 on the season. And Sandoval chases a high fastball.
Let's take a look at Wednesday with Michael Morse. 900 feet of home runs. You want to know what they look like? This was the first one. It was off the back wall of the Giants bullpen in right center. And then this one here, oh my, he just got all of it. And then he comes right home and picks up where he left off with opposite field pop. Yep, those two guys right there.
Crawford fouls it to the backstop.
Now watch the inside part of the foot. That's where the power is. That stays planted. There's no rollover. Now he throws the hip into the ball. And when he unleashes the bat head, it's 34.5 inches, 33 ounces of weight. I mean, it's going to jump.
Ooh. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Michael Morse has the heaviest bat of the Giants. But you stand next to him and you see the body this guy totes around. You would think that 33 ounces is light.
Crawford with a healthy rip.
All 12 runs scored off of home runs. And that was Wednesday. And Coors Field, it was when the Giants just were not getting any hits with runners in scoring position, and all of a sudden 6 home runs. You put 12 on the board. Didn't care.
Crawford takes down low.
The interesting too about Michael Morse is when he was in Seattle the first time, teammate of Ichiro. Ichiro had a bat suitcase that was a humidifier, and you open it up and you have bats that are in these little guides, little stands, almost like it looks like a gun case, but it's a humidifier for bats. And Ichiro made it a gift to Michael Morse at the end of the season, and he gave him the humidifier, and he carries it with him wherever he goes. And I said, does it make a difference? He says, well, it does one thing that I've never seen. Usually when you put your bat away in a bat bag and you go to the next city, you pull it out, and all the pine tar that's on the bat is really hardened and it's kind of gnarly. He says, but if you put them in the humidifier, pine tar is like it's fresh. Stays sticky.
Yeah.
So he takes great care of his bat.
Hit on the ground. Kipnis is going to throw out Crawford. Crawford's doing it again. And that's hitting balls right at people. Or in this case, close enough where Kipnis could make a nice play.
Yeah, that's the big leagues. Watch the range to the left. Kipnis onto his belly and from his knees. He's done that before.
So with 2 outs, here's Hicks. And Hicks takes a pitch in tight. 1 ball and no strikes.
Santana, I thought that should have been a strike. Time you see a catcher catch the ball and stick the reception, hold it there, or if you see him double clutch with the throwback to the pitcher, let the umpire go. He missed one.
Bourne is going to drift back. You'll have time to settle underneath it, and that'll end the inning. Morse hits the home run. His 6th of the season. It's bye-bye, baby. 5th inning coming up. 4-1 Giants.
Annual Sports Antique Show, and your special event package includes a ticket to the Giants-Padres games, a limited edition bobblehead of Chumley from History Channel's Pawn Stars, and access to the Sports Antique pregame Giants memorabilia show hosted by Chumley himself. Go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Let me see that.
That was right up there with Dag Gabble got him.
Let me see this. All right. This is roll foul. There's a couple of things with this, what we're reading. One is once you say memorabilia and you get through that, then you got to be careful with some other stuff.
Well,
where's it?
I
So
couldn't
what was
get
it?
past
Chumley?
memorabilia. Oh, yeah, Chumley.
Well, you got memorabilia and Chumley in the same sentence. It says hit up the middle. Crawford. Belt. One out. And that'll bring to the plate the pitcher, Carlos Carrasco.
It's one of my all-time favorite calls, by the way.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it. Dag Gabble got him. Strike to Carrasco. One of my kids asked me just recently, what were you actually trying to say? And I
Well,
because they get asked, right? What was your dad trying to say? Well, I'll ask him. Well, no.
Well, I mean, what does Dag Gabble got to say?
I don't have any idea. 0-2 to Carrasco. And he got him.
Just a nice little sinker he swung over the top of. Hudson has 2 strikeouts tonight, and the victim has both come off the batter or the swing and misses from Carlos Carrasco.
So here's Bourne. Bourne takes a pitch low. Hudson taking a little time as he rubs up the baseball. Maybe he didn't like the feel of it.
Yeah, sometimes they come off smooth and you want to get out and kind of rub them up a little bit. You could do that.
Out of play. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, we've heard so much now about the pine tar and the Yankee situation and how you need it in cold weather. Well, that must mean every pitcher that's ever pitched at Candlestick needed it.
I never went out there one time without some pine tar. And it really is for the safety of the hitter, because the ball gets so slippery in your hand. If you didn't have a little stickum on your finger, you'd lose it. You'd hit some people.
So if I read some things right, in cold weather, rosin doesn't work.
Well, it's harder to get it going.
Hit up the middle. Hicks on the backhand. And that'll end the inning. We'll finish that thought when we come back. Here, with the Giants coming up in the 5th, it's 4-1 San Francisco.
Giants are in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it is our Ford right choice. We go back to 1954 and listen to Willie Mays.
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
The catch.
And Hudson with the swing, and that's foul straight back.
And that's the 1954 World Series, Game 1. And Willie Mays, part of that 54 World Championship team. And this is what he did in the National League last year. Ranked first in average, slugging percentage, triples, OPS.
Have a good year, Willie.
Oh. Well, Vic Wertz is the guy that hit the ball. He'd have been 5 for 5 that day, but that catch preserved a 1-0 ball game. And tell you what, talk about great catches. A lot of people around the world think that's the greatest catch ever made.
Well,
except for Willie, he doesn't.
Your old broadcaster in Chicago is Jack Brickhouse, is the one who made that call. And the whole optical illusion part of that call, it was a fantastic call. Jack Brickhouse, who ended up being in Chicago with the Cubs for a zillion years.
Well, he was a lot of fun to be around. Jack Brickhouse was a guy that baseball was his life. It was his passion. He did other sports, but when baseball time came around, boy, he lit up. And telling stories, oh my.
We hated him. There's a call strike to Hudson.
You were a Braves fan from Milwaukee.
Is this the Dag Yabble got him call?
This is the Dag Yabble.
Here it is from Arizona. This is going to be a tough play. Sandoval. Dag Yabble got him.
It never gets old. I hear it. It makes me laugh.
Here's Pagan. Makes absolutely no sense at all. Pagan is 2 for 2. He scored twice. And he takes down low.
Front door sinker, good one. And we haven't seen a whole lot of two-seam fastballs from Carrasco. When he throws them, and if he can plant them on that inside corner, lefties are not getting swings off at him. But he just doesn't have that type of command to consistently hit that spot.
There's a check swing foul, 1-2. Giants 4, Indians 1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Pagan, a high chopper, and Carrasco's got it, and he throws him out. And that'll bring up Pence. So the first time in this game that Carlos Carrasco has retired Pagan.
Well, if it gets over the head of Carrasco, that's a base hit. So Carrasco at 6-3, making a nice pick.
Pence is 2 for 2. 1 ball and no strikes. Belt to follow. Pence taps this one off his foot, and it's a ball and a strike.
Good changeup. If you compare all the specialty pitches, the curveballs, the sliders, the changeups he's thrown tonight, by far he's thrown the changeup more than any other pitch. Yep. Wayne Kuiper seat.
There we go.
Yeah, today I thought maybe you could.
He just dropped your bat.
I thought maybe you can unscrew that bat, right? Maybe screw in an umbrella. Because that's what it felt like today getting up.
Well, you needed it today.
In a Cleveland uniform with April Cleveland weather is Cabrera. Will just throw out Pence
to end the inning. 4-1 Giants. Sixth inning, 4-1 Giants, and it'll be Swisher, Kipnis, and Santana facing Tim Hudson, who has thrown 69 pitches.
Well, this is a big out right here. We talked about the lifetime history is pretty much all in favor of Swisher. He hits him well, and he's leading off.
And he takes a strike. He scorched the ball that Pagan tracked down in the first, and then he singled to the opposite field in the third.
Yeah, knocked in a run. Nice first pitch change up there from Hudson.
And he gets him to swing, and it's nothing in 2.
Every time he swings at a pitch out of the strike zone, he'll take a walk and have a real good talk with himself. I mentioned the two guys that hit Hudson the best on this Cleveland team are both ex-teammates, Swisher and Jason Giambi.
Got him.
Went right back in, back foot breaking ball, and that's a big out.
Well, Mike, the throw for me wasn't so much the bobblehead, but watching the kids throw.
Now, Cole, your son there, and your daughter Dannon, and your wife Michelle on the right. And Dad watching. All right, here we go. Well, they nailed it.
I don't remember Cole ever having high heat, to be honest with you.
Oh, how about Dannon? The glove never moved.
Yeah, well, the youngest one is always going to try to outdo the oldest one. And that will be brought up if it hasn't been already.
Oh, I'm sure she's getting some mileage out of it.
Here's Kipnis.
So nice going, Pop.
Yeah, they did good. And thanks to Comcast, you sponsor the bobblehead and you get to pick who throws out the first pitch. So Ted Griggs and all the folks that we adore over in the office from the Kuiper family, thanks. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kipnis. A solid single in the first, and he's got a solid single here in the 6th. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, Dwayne, I pulled in Gianna and Savannah to help me with this because Wednesday was basically a home run derby in Colorado. The San Francisco Giants hit 6 on the day, and they hit for the home run cycle, if you will, one of each type: a solo home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and a grand slam. The last time that was done, are you ready, girls? 1937 at the Polo Grounds. The Giants played the
Dodgers.
They've got it. Dwayne.
Oh, on cue. They nailed it. Way to go, girls.
A couple of gamer babes.
Here's Santana. Santana takes a bit high. 1 ball and no strikes.
Not a bad pitch either. You're seeing Marcus Patillo, the plate umpire, for the first time. And those are things you remember as a pitcher, that if you have a target set on the inside corner and the ball goes on the outside corner, even if it's in the strike zone, because it's not between the catcher's knees, you don't get it. Some umpires are that way.
And that's pulled high and foul. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now, 2 times in Giants history with all 4 types of home runs in the same game. As Aimer the Gamer said, April 30th against the Dodgers, it was Gus Mancuso, JoJo Moore, Melott, Jimmy Ripple. And then on Wednesday, solo shots by Hicks, Morse, and Sanchez. Brandon Bell with a 2-runner. Michael Morse, another home run, a 3-run. And then, of course, the grand slam off the bat of Hector Sanchez. That was the difference maker. Gus Mancuso.
No babes in that group.
No.
2 balls and 1 strike.
They were all in the stands that day. There's Will the Thrill.
Always great to have Will in town. He's still got the good Nuschler when he wants it. I tell you, we used to look at our cameraman when he played at Candlestick. And all of the guys that worked at Candlestick are working here.
Well, you know, he was one of those guys that
he knew where it was too.
He knew everybody in that ballpark.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pulled foul.
Nice little elevation on the hands. That was right where Hudson wanted to plant that thing. Right. Cheryl Boykins, our ball babe tonight, the first base side. Nice play, Cheryl. That babe. Rob McClurg is over on the third base side tonight, our ball dude, who always make friends.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Overshift is on. And it's low, so now it's 3-2.
And he's working that inside corner. He's bringing movement that starts off the plate in with the fastball and comes back to the strike zone. Then he brings breaking balls that starts in the strike zone, then falls off the plate towards the back foot. So he's definitely trying to crowd Santana. Here you see the shift. It's all stacked up on the right side.
And the walk, so Hudson did not want to do that. Sharks and Kings Stanley Cup playoffs. This is round 1, and game 5 is going to be tomorrow night on Comcast Sportsnet. California, the Kings played the Sharks tough last night. They'll try to do it again tomorrow night, so check it out at 7 p.m.
A couple of Sharks fans, and why not? They are skating beautifully right now.
So here's Michael Brantley with runners at first and second. And the Giants bullpen starting to get loose as the next pitch is down low, and it's Jeremy Affeldt.
Pitch number 84. Just supposing going to come out and talk it over a little bit. They're pitching for a ground ball here to get 2 outs. I mean, it's the one thing that Tim Hudson has always been able to do in his career. With just about everything that he throws, he can get downward movement on it, and he'll get ground balls with it. And that's what they're looking for right now.
1 ball and no strikes. I think Hudson knows the bullpen's going.
Oh, yeah.
2-0. "85 pitches.
Brantley's hit into 3 double plays this year.
And he gets the strike. He hit the inside corner, 2-1.
See Hudson really going to his mouth a lot right now. It's windy down there in the middle of the field, and it's cool. Tough to get a grip on your finger. Baseball rules now allow you to actually go to your mouth if you wipe it off before you touch the ball.
And Brantley really breaks down on that swing. It's 2-2. Clearly Brantley looking for something else.
Well, Brantley's getting pitched the same way they tried to go after Santana and stand on that inside corner with two different types of movement. And that was a late break. You saw him break down mid-swing, and that's because that break is late. Go right back in there again.
Got him.
Front door. And it did indeed froze him. And he identified that pitch is going to be inside. And it just locks him up. And he's in the protect mode. 2 strikes. And look at it come right back to the glove. And Marcus Patillo, the rookie umpire, says, "See ya."
So here's Asdrubal Cabrera with 2 outs and 2 on. And shots a belt, and that'll end the inning. So Hudson looking at Belt saying thank you very much. And the Giants keep their lead. It's 4-1.
By Heffernan Insurance Brokers, offering business and personal insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. Visit us at hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
Here at AT&T Park, the Giants with a 4-1 lead. So Hudson does a nice job.
Well, he does. And, it doesn't hurt to have a couple out of balls go your way. And if you're going to have a good night, you're going to have a couple of those breaks. Well, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. That's right, 12 years already. And join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit sfgiants.com for details.
Here's Belt. It'll be Belt, Posey, and Morse facing Carlos Carrasco with the bullpen up for the Indians. Now Belt, he's 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts.
Good changeup. He is just not picking up Carrasco at all. Carrasco with 4 strikeouts tonight. 2 of them are Brandon Belt. And both strike threes were swing and misses. One on a breaking ball on his back foot, the other an elevator fastball above the belt.
And Belt lifts this one foul. And it stays at no balls and 2 strikes. Giants with 2 in the first, 2 in the, make that 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth on the Morse home run. High to Belt, 1 and 2. We've seen Belt have some at bats where it doesn't look like he's ever hit before, and then in an instant he hit a home run. Same guy.
He does it a lot. 2 strike counts.
Pulls this one foul.
Nice play. Now that's some old school stirrups right there. And we've seen it before with Josh Outman. I mean, he's kind of cornered the look. Not a whole lot of guys are lined up to put those on, but that used to be the day.
Belt with the hat trick. 1 out here in the 6th.
Steve Bedrosian had a similar look.
Well, even when that era that you're talking about was going on, not a lot of guys wore it like that. There was a few, but not a lot of them.
You had to be a certain kind of guy to pull that one off.
Here's Buster Posey, 0 for 1 with a walk, and he takes a strike.
Next pitch for Carrasco will be number 90.
Posey right past Morse. It's 0-2. Buster Posey watches this one go by. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Carrasco just has not got much out of his breaking balls tonight.
Two and 2.
Those consecutive starts without a win. I mean, he's had 16. That is a long dry spell.
Three and 2 to Buster Posey. Well, you can't deny the kid's arm, that's for sure.
Well, he got a great arm and nice loose shoulder. The problem is being able to get in the slot that allows him to command the strike zone. He makes location mistakes.
And that's rolled foul.
That changeup is a good one off of a mid-90s fastball. I mean, that's your base right there. You tighten up that breaking ball, get a little bit better command with it, and you're on your way. He's got 2 different types of fastball, but he just doesn't put it in the glove a lot. He makes mistakes in the strike zone.
Got him.
And that's one of the few swing through strikeouts on a breaking ball for a right-handed hitter tonight.
So here's Morris.
The slider just dropped right down below the strike zone. Posey out front, off balance. Good pitch.
Morse hit a ball very hard in the 4th for a home run. And a sacrifice fly that he hit well in the 1st. Down low. Pitch wise now for Carrasco. He's close to 100. Look out. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Curveball, just not his friend. Outman's ready to go. I don't know if they're going to let him get back in a stretch again. If Michael Morse gets on base, that may be it for Carrasco.
2-2.
Good changeup.
Talked about Morse in the ballpark.
Oh, home run number 6 on the year. This is one they talked about. It was buzzing in this ballpark. That's a big one right there.
On the ground to third, and Chisenhall has it, and that'll end the inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground ball. We'll head to the 7th. It remains the Giants 4, the Indians 1. Game summary, and it's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Carrasco's gone 6. He's thrown 100 pitches. Hudson has allowed 1 earned run. He's pitched in and out of trouble a couple of times. Swisher's got an RBI single, and Michael Morse has a home run. Also, Pagan and Pence, 4 hits between them and 3 runs scored. And the hitter will be Lonnie Chisenhall. Hudson back out there for pitch number 90. Swinging a foul, and it's 0-1. Morse out of the game, and into the game is Juan Perez. So on a cool night, you come in for defense, you better be ready, because something's coming your way.
Never fails.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike.
We talked earlier in the game about how efficient Tim Hudson has been with his pitch count. And really, this is something that he's been able to do his whole career. And a lot of it has to do with he puts the ball in play. And it's because of that sinker. He gets a lot of outs with it.
This is foul. And it got to Levi's landing in a hurry. And that's into the water on a bounce.
Strike 2. Designer strike.
Easy, big fella. We don't want to lose you. The water's cold. 1-2 pitch coming up. Oh. Buster Posey ready to throw it down to third. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
As we have gotten to know Marcus Patillo, the rookie umpire, one thing he doesn't do is he does not go to the bell. He's pretty much a dead low ball guy.
One too many takes. Let's check in with Amy G.
All right, Dwayne, it is that time of the night. Our AT&T sponsored fan photo. Take your best shot of being a fan. We have this one to show you tonight. It's Jessica from Reading. She's holding one of the K signs. Hey, that's a big job. You got to do it right or you're going to hear it. Great photo. Take yours, put it up on Twitter, hashtag CSNBA fan photo. Make sure to include your name and hometown, and you might be on a future broadcast. Dwayne?
All right, Amy, thank you. A strike to Murphy.
Got a right black on. There's a Will Clark fan.
Yep. No balls and 1 strike. Oh, yeah. Out of play, 0-2.
You know, one thing about Will Clark, anytime you see Will Clark at the ballpark, you know what he's talking about. He's not talking about hunting. He's not talking about fishing. He's talking about ball. And once he sets foot into a ballpark, I mean, from the time he's here to the time he leaves, that's what you're talking about. And Brian Sabean loves having him around just to openly just talk about what you see. Situation, how he reads a pitcher.
Belt. 2 outs. And he's a lot. We talk about Billy Hayes. We'll give you the honest answer. He's the same way.
Oh, without any regard whether or not you like what he's saying, he's going to tell you the truth about your game, about your swing. Blatantly honest. And there's Billy Hayes, another guy who's absolute 100% old school.
This is Elliot Johnson. Pinch hitting.
Mother like daughter.
And on 1 pitch, Hicks to Belt. Side retired. Pablo Sandoval is going to lead things off.
Tonight, aside from my partner Dwayne Kuiper on Dwayne Kuiper bobblehead night, is Tim Hudson. It's 4-1 in San Francisco. Bottom of the 7th. McDonald's 2 stories coming up, and we're going to take a look back at 1954. The Giants won the World Series. They upset a heavily favored Cleveland Indians team, and they did it in a 4-game sweep. And they got to take the parade drive in the city of New York. And that's your McDonald's 2 stories.
When it's time for a change thing, Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. And there's Josh Outman.
Outman, a little 90s fastball, and you're going to see curveball, slider, changeup.
Hit high to right field. Murphy off the bricks, and the Panda may go for 3, and down the stretch he comes. Sandoval into third. And that's a triple. He needed that.
Well, I liked it down the stretch. Josh Allen just got his first pitch, just smacked it. He almost knocked it out of here. A high fastball. He backspins it. And this is the carry we were talking about to right field. It's a high off the wall. Murphy really not much he can do about it. Once it spits away from Murphy, Sandoval saw an opening there, and he just took off for third. So one pitch, he gives up a triple, and just like that, the Giants have a chance to do some more damage.
I think third was the finish line. Not home. Crawford shoots one under the glove of Swisher. He's got a base hit. Sandoval scores, and it's 5-1. Well, both those guys needed that. So Alton didn't throw too many pitches, and he's done. He's thrown 2 pitches.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
I mean, that's a little harsh, isn't it?
It's the big leagues.
So, Giants now lead 5-1. It'll be the Warriors and the Clippers. It'll be Game 5 Tuesday at 7:30. Pregame live will start at 7. And where can you see it? Right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Giants that night will be on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Warriors took it on the chin last night, but I'm not worried at all.
I am not either.
Here's Hicks facing Lee.
Chin Chang Lee, the Taiwanese rookie, is got great stuff. Low to mid-90s fastball with big-time sink, look out, and a hard slider. Basically a 2-pitch guy, but lots of movement, and he gets lots of ground balls.
Hicks has popped out and he's flied out. And he takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Giants 5. Indians 1. Affeld is back up in the bullpen. On deck is Gregor Blanco. Foul back. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. So Hicks was waiting for a fastball and he got it. 3-1.
Looking at the game that Marcus Patillo, the plate umpire, has called now, as we mentioned, he's a rookie. It's the first time we've seen him. He's done a nice job.
Few borderline belt-high pitches, but overall, I agree with you. He hasn't had many, if any, guys turn their heads on him. Three and two. We'll see if Bruce Bochy sends Crawford. Hicks asks for time. Swing and a miss.
So he saves the slider for a little two-strike surprise. The rest of the at-bat had been sinker, sinker, sinker.
So here's Blanco. So you can put in the numbers for Tim Hudson, and they're good numbers.
He saw it out of him. He's been nothing but steady since he put on a Giants uniform. Talked about how much the hits were needed for Pablo Sandoval and Brandon Crawford. Here's another guy who's been swinging it pretty good and just has nothing to show for it.
And it's a little different role for him from last year, where his at-bats now come an occasional start or at-bats when he goes in for defense in the 7th or 8th or 9th inning. And it's hard to get anything going that way. Ball and a strike now to Blanco.
Now, we were talking about cold nights and pine tar and cold nights and rosin. Rosin really, you can work on cold nights for pitchers if you've got some perspiration on your arm.
This is skied out into left center field, hit pretty well. Brantley's moving back, and he'll put it away.
But how hard is it to get moisture on your arm for perspiration on a night like tonight? It's tough.
The only other thing that works would be that cotton candy that kid's got.
And that's legal.
You put that in your back pocket if you're a starting pitcher?
Yeah.
Forget it.
I would stick that in there, and if the player said, "Hey, what do you have back there?" I'd offer him a bite. Cotton candy.
You might not get the ball off your hand.
And that's why pine tar, or there's other little sticking things, just a little bit on your fingertips so you have a feel of the ball. And I mean, it's illegal, but it's kind of an unwritten rule. I mean, everybody just sort of agrees to it.
Pagan takes a strike.
And at any given time, a manager could go out there and he could have an umpire check a pitcher, and you're probably going to find it. But if you do that as a manager, the opposing manager is going to do the same thing to your guy. And you've seen what the result is. It's a 10-game suspension.
Look, I think John Farrell's beef wasn't so much that he had pine tar. It was just, don't be so blatant.
Well, I mean, that's...
Put it on your neck. Just put it on your wrist or something.
Yeah.
Because you know John Farrell's pitchers are using it.
Yeah, they are, especially in April when it's cold across the country. In San Francisco or Oakland, year-round, you're going to use it. But you can't rub it in an umpire's face. You just can't do it.
The 0-2 to Pagan is high and wide, 1-2.
Yeah, I saw it a few years ago with Julian Tavares. I mean, he had his lucky hat on. It was a red Cardinals hat, and he'd been putting pine tar in his hand all summer long. Well, the bill of his hat was dark brown, and he got popped. And it's like, well, change your hat. Don't let an umpire have a reason to throw you out. I mean, be smart about it.
Can't be stubborn to your hat.
No. Unless it's a dark brown hat.
That's right.
Just missed, trying to wrap around that outside corner, a little backdoor slider.
Two balls, two strikes. Pagan saw that one and fouled it back. Yep. Mom and Dad got their hands full. But this one is wide awake.
Oh, yeah, she's cute. She's at the ballpark. She's not going to sleep.
On the ride home, however.
Oh, yeah. We'll make it out of the park.
This little guy, he's got these two guys. They're digging into the caramel corn, the cotton candy. Oh, my goodness. Pagan out swinging to end the inning. Giants pick up a run. We'll head to the 8th. It's 5-1 Giants.
Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Extra inning grand slams in San Francisco Giants history. Willie Mays did it in 1967 against Houston. Jack Hyatt did it in 1969 against Houston. Jeffrey Leonard did it against Pittsburgh in '83. Greg Litton in '92 in Cincinnati. A.J. Brzezinski in Montreal, or in Puerto Rico against Montreal. And then Wednesday, it was Hector Sanchez who joined the club with a grand slam in the 11th inning. Giants were going to win by 2. And that, my friends, is your cold hard facts.
Jeremy Affeldt, the new pitcher, when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
4th game that Affeldt has come into, and he's been fantastic since being activated off the disabled list. Except for that pitch. Fastball that goes low 90s, big curveball, and a split. Gregor Blanco stays in the game. He's in center field. Angel Pagan's night is over.
In tight. Let me see Perez.
Perez moves over to center.
And that's at the knees for a strike. Bourne tripled in the 3rd inning. So it's 3-0.
See that knee brace on the right leg of Affleck. Something he said he'll never pitch it out again. Tweaked his knee right out the last week of spring training, put him on the disabled list.
The 3-1 pitch is high. Padres come into AT&T Park on the next homestand, or actually on this homestand, 28th, 29th, and 30th. All 3 games are at 7:15. And check out the dynamic deals. $8. Tickets for as low as $8. Visit sfgiants.com/dynamic deal. So the walk to Bourne. And here's Swisher. And a breaking ball down low.
So Buster Posey going to come out and have a little talk.
And Affleck just asked for somebody to come out. Is it the mound?
Well, I hope it's the mound and it's not Affleck.
So maybe he's asking for the grounds crew. That's what we would hope for. You're right.
Now Anthony Reyes, the assistant trainer, is going to come out.
The pitcher has a right to do this.
Watch how he plants that leg. A little give in the right knee there. And it's got to be something on the mound.
Well, here comes a couple of rakes, a plunger.
And that is a problem with being a relief pitcher. I mean, you're coming into a used mound, and there's going to be a couple of holes in the mound from the pitchers who had pitched previous to you getting out there. If your foot at times lands in the same hole, or not quite in it, but you're hitting on an imbalanced mound, it's going to cause you to have an errant release point. So they're going to come in and make a quick fix. In baseball today, the transfer play, where a fielder will catch a ball and then exchange the ball to his hand to make a play with a throw, has been changed. And the new rule is there's no requirement that the fielder successfully remove the ball from his glove in order for it to be ruled a catch. If the fielder drops the ball while attempting to remove it to make a throw, the umpire should rule that the ball has been caught, provided that the fielder has secured it in his glove before attempting to transfer. The umpires will continue to use their judgment as to whether the fielder had complete control over the ball before the transfer. I mean, this is the way it's been for years and years.
That's the way it was before this. This was a play a couple of weeks ago. So clearly a catch. And they reviewed it. And the call.
Well, then we started to see a chain reaction around the game where guys at second base were catching the ball, getting the force, and then on the exchange there would be a drop. And it was like, oh, wait a second. Baseball's been doing it something one way for 130 years. Now all of a sudden it's changing. And a lot of it had to do with the Exmo slow motion that the reviewers were watching.
I think a lot of the calls at second base were clearly there was an exchange, and sometimes not, and the umpires are having a hard time with that one. But it's back to the way it always was. Here it's 1-0 after the mound is secure now for Affleck, and he throws a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Okay, no problem. Well, I think the good thing about what has happened is that with instant replay, we're not having to wait for the end of the season to make changes. And I think that's the significance of the decision today. There was a problem. They changed it, and they changed it quickly. And I think there's going to be a few more quick changes with it. I think it's been a hit, but there are a few things that need to be worked out and amended. And I think there will be.
3-1. Well, the Giants go to Milwaukee August 5th, 6th, and 7th. So that would be our time to knock on Mr. Selig's door.
All you got to do to get an audience with him is show up with some ice cream.
There's a base hit into center field. So here in the 8th inning, the Indians have something going against Jeremy Affeldt, and now the bullpen starts to roll, and that's Javier Lopez and Santiago Casilla.
And David Getty's going to get out and kill a little more time.
Kipnis has a couple of hits. Kipnis is 2 for 3. And now the home plate umpire is going to break this up.
So got him about 4 or 5 different throws. It's going to take about 15 throws at least on a night like tonight to establish a fastball down the bullpen.
So here's Affeldt to Kipnis, and a bouncing ball near the bag. Hicks drops it and flips it to Crawford, so they get one out, and they needed to get an out. They'll put runners at the corners. Maybe you get 2 if Hicks hangs on to it. And here's Santana. Santana has walked twice, and he's bounced out to Belt. Switch hitter, batting right-handed tonight now for the first time. Swing and a foul at home plate, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
He's up there hacking.
Well, I have one child that can say that. I can't.
Well, your career was born there.
Yeah, that's true. High, 1 ball and 1 strike. When I got traded, I found out that I got traded. I really thought everything about San Francisco was the Oakland Hyatt. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a strike, 1 and 2.
Well, so that was where you stayed when you came to play the A's.
The Hyatt on Hagenberger. So I thought, man, I'm going to have to. I'm getting traded to San Francisco. I got to stay at the Hyatt on Hagenberger. So there was another city across the bay. Posey hangs on.
Split
on him. In the booth next to us is the color analyst for the Indians, Rick Manning. And that was the 2 of us many, many pounds ago. He still looks the same. He's like Dick Clark.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't aged. You haven't changed.
Here's Brantley, who bounces this one to Belt, foul. And I mentioned Dick Clark. There he is. Very serious. Not.
Well, it was good to watch you 2 get together before the game, have a couple of yucks.
The secret Indian handshake.
You know what? I accused you of that a few years ago. You deny it. I flat out caught you today.
0-1 to Brantley. Runner goes. Posey's throw is a bluff. So Kipnis with the steal. 5-1, and the Giants would like to keep it at that, with Affeldt throwing to Brantley with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. And a beauty, 1-2, and there's the breaking ball.
And there's the big hook. And you know, a lot of umpires, when they see this pitch for the first time, they give up on it. And I credit Marcus Patillo for staying in there.
That's a good call. Many Giants standing now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fouled at the plate. We'll do it again.
Just caught a piece. You saw the defense the Giants are employing against Michael Brantley. It's straight away in the outfield. And the only one who's really making any adjustment is Pablo Sandoval at third base. He's off the line. After that, it's pretty much straight away. A few steps towards second base for Crawford.
1-2. Posipozzi with the block, but Bourne was actually backpedaling, and that's really a tough angle for that runner at third, because that ball ends up right down the line, and you can't really figure out the depth of how far that it's gone away from the plate.
He's got great speed, but there's the line you're talking about. He never really made a step towards the plate. But down 4 runs, I mean, you can't go unless you're absolutely sure you can make it, even with his speed.
2-2.
It's a little high for Patillo. And Bruce Bochy is barking at the rookie. I think it was called right.
So 3-2. Dag Yabble got him. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 5-1 Giants. Giants with a 5-1 lead. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Scott Atchison, the new pitcher now for Cleveland.
We know that guy.
Former Giant. Take a look at what he has done. He's off to a great start. Just 7 base runners in 9 innings.
You know, he went to Boston and pitched very well for Terry Francona. And clearly Francona did not forget that.
You know, he could do a lot of things for you. I mean, he's a strike thrower. And he could throw any of his 4 pitches at any time. Very durable. I mean, he's a guy that can come in early. He can get you a situation out. He can even spot start for you. He's got a great arm. And he still throws, you know, low 90s with a good curveball, slider, changeup, cutter. I mean, he can do anything with the ball.
Hornblowers in the cove. So Penn stays alive. And he fouls another one. He's gotten Santana twice on back-to-back pitches.
Ouch.
And Terry Francona is going to come out with the Indians trainer. That's the 3rd time now.
Double Catha. They got Santana and they got a piece of Patillo, the umpire. Well, you know, one is it hurts, but if you back it up and you get hit a second time, it's hard to shake that one off. And he is trying to get the cobwebs out.
Watch this one nail him right in the shoulder.
Wow.
Maybe off the mask into the shoulder.
But remember, he got hit in that shoulder earlier in the game, and it's very tender. You get hit again, that's rough.
So it's 2-2 to Pence. Pence, a line drive at Cabrera. 1 out. And that'll bring up Brandon Belt, who's happy to see anybody out there except Carrasco. Carrasco struck him out 3 times. One 1-0 to Belt. Lopez and Gutierrez in the bullpen. And there's that pitch that Patillo, this young umpire, he's been consistent all night. He just calls that pitch high.
Definitely a low ball guy, no doubt.
Hit out into the shift, and Kipnis is going to throw out Belt. Join us tomorrow. It'll be these 2 teams at it again in Game 2 in the series. Pregame live will start at 12:30. The first pitcher will be right at the top of the hour. And the promise is there'll be no bobblehead talk. And you'll see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Tim Lincecum against Zach McAllister. Here's Buster Posey, 0 for 2. And Posey on the ground to the second baseman Kipnis, and that'll end the inning. So we will head to the ninth here at AT&T Park. 5-1 Giants. Giants. Here's our Honda player of the game, and it's going to be all about Hunter Pence. Here's Pence's triple, which knocked in Pagan in the first inning. And he came back in the third with an RBI single to knock in a run. Hunter Pence, our Honda player of the game. When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Javier Lopez, for the 11th time, is coming into a ball game. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, 1 walk and a strikeout. Lopez off to a great start.
And he throws a strike to Cabrera, who's 0 for 3. Chisenhall and then Murphy. 1 ball and 1 strike. Start of the game at 7:15, first pitch, 52 degrees. And it's probably cooled off a little bit, but
yeah, it was supposed to be cool tonight. You wouldn't really know it the way that both teams have played. Players will let you know how cold it is. You'll start to see masks come out, hats with flaps on their ears. There've been a lot of guys out there in short sleeves. Michael Morse didn't have his sleeves on.
hit out to right field for Pence. Pence battling the lights, and that falls. So Pence, you could clearly see that was hit right into the bank of lights. It'll be an error on Pence.
And that's a tough error. I mean, you really can't catch what you can't see, and it was in the lights.
He's about as sure-handed as you're going to get. I mean, I've done it where you lose it in the sun, where you really kind of want to stand out there and point at the sun like, I couldn't see it. And I'm sure Hunter Pence would like to point at the bank of lights and say, I couldn't see it. So here's Chisenhall. It's actually Mike Aviles who's pinch hitting.
And Sergio Romo very quickly gets the call to go down and get heated up.
And a strike, 0-2. Lopez, and the 0-2 pitch is low, 1-2. David Murphy to follow. And Aviles waited on that breaking ball, and he took a pretty healthy rip. Back to Lopez. Lopez juggles it. He'll pick it up. He'll get the out at first. I'm sure he's disappointed that had double play written all over it.
Yeah, it did. But nice adjustment on the fly. Once he knocked it down, he realized there was no play. He bobbles the exchange. And everything right here is thinking, too, I got it. And once he drops it, separate the hands, go to the bare hand, and get the only out. And you can see the disappointment.
So here's Murphy. And Murphy takes wide, 1 ball and no strikes. And he gets the call to even the count.
Perfect location, knee-high outside corner. And we talk about the strength of Javier Lopez. I mean, exceptional command, a lot of different angles. And there aren't many guys around there like that.
One and two.
When you get in the batter's box and you're hitting Lopez from the left side, you're thinking middle away. You're not really thinking inside, and he will go to that side of the plate.
Got him.
Perfection. Absolute perfection. Set the target in the outside corner. Bang. Sticks it. Rough at bat.
Ryan Rayburn's going to pinch hit.
Got an 0 for 16 going. He has been stone cold.
Down low to Rayburn. Cabrera at second base. He reached on the Pence error.
That's definitely one of the things you talk about in the meeting going into a series. Who's hot and who's not. And Rayburn will be one of the guys that would be under the is not column. Not that that means a whole lot when you're pitching to a guy. You still assume he's going to put a good at bat against you. It just means don't walk him. Guy who's cold, you make him swing the bat.
2-0. And right down Van Ness. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Pablo Sandoval staying warm.
So it's 3-1. Michael Bourne is on deck. He's a left-handed hitter. And almost still getting loose. I'm sure that he's ready to go. And the walk. So here's Bourne.
Dave Righetti just checked with Mark Gardner as to whether or not Sergio Romo is ready to go, and he got the he's ready to go sign. And the ready to go sign, that bullpen coach takes his hat off. He's good to go.
And the runner at third goes, or at second, and the throw is backhanded nicely by Sandoval. So it'll be a steal for Cabrera. That's one of those where you better make it.
Well, you're right, down 4 runs, but he had a pretty healthy lead and a great jump. Sandoval made a nice play just to catch the one hop and avoid it going into the outfield. And it's rare to see a bout of wildness for Javier Lopez. And Dave Righetti's going to come out and talk to him. I mean, Lopez is so consistent, you take him for granted. And you just assume that he's going to come in and he's going to pound the zone time and time and time again. He's done that very thing. Tonight, he's having some problems.
Bourne is 0 for 3 lifetime against Javier Lopez. So it's 2-0. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I think David Righetti could definitely be a motivational speaker. He can get a guy in the strike zone.
Belt's got it, and that's the ball game. So game 1 in this 3-game series, it goes to Tim Hudson and the Giants. So Tim Hudson allows 1 earned run, and he ups his record now, Mike, to 3-1. So a really nice start for Tim Hudson.
Well, and the hot hitter of the game really was Hunter Pence, and we saw him heat up at the end of the road trip, and he's been able to carry it right into the homestand. I mean, he got the Giants going first inning with a triple and an RBI. The Giants would score 2, and really Tim Hudson just really didn't need a whole lot more. And once again, Tim Hudson is stellar.
So the Giants now with this win, they go to 13-10, and what they wanted to do was get off to a good start on this homestand, and that's what they do. And also, Mike, you have to really look back at what Angel Pagan and Hunter Pence meant in this game. They meant everything offensively.
Well, they did. I mean, Angel Pagan had talked to him before the game. He says, my knees still bark a little bit. He says, but I feel I could play. And not only did he go out there and get a couple hits and set up some innings, stole a base and played a clean center field. So it was good to have him back in the lineup for sure. Giants, when they have him there, they're a much different team. So he was a difference maker.
All right, let's check in with Amy G. She's got a guest.
I sure do, Michael Morse. What a win tonight. And after a pretty rough road trip, how big is it to follow that momentum of Wednesday's game, bring it into your home field, and win again in that first series?
You know, it's good. You know, guys came out swinging today. You know, I think this road trip, you know, we caught a little a glimpse of what we can do in the last couple games. But today came good. Everybody, you know, swung the bat well, and you know, we hit. You know, we got some good runs, a lot of runs.
A true team effort tonight. But for you at the plate, really fun to watch. For fans, especially, to watch some balls go out at AT&T Park. We don't get to see that very often. But starting the first inning for us, take us through your sac fly, because everyone thought off the bat it was out of here. And did you think that too?
I'll tell you what, I thought I hit it good. You know, I definitely hit it and thought I had a chance. You know, it's AT&T, it's tough, but you know, I'm not trying to hit home runs or nothing. All I'm trying to do is get a good pitch to hit up the middle, and not try to do too much. And you know, hitting home runs is a product of a good swing, and you know, we got a lot of guys that, you know, put good swings on the ball.
And you've said since the beginning, since you came here, that really no park really intimidates you. You just go up and do your thing, and then you did it in the 4th inning with a monster shot. You hit it into big boy territory in right center. Take us through that, AB, and your approach there.
Yeah, you know, I was 0-2 real quick. 2 sliders, 1 for a strike, 1 down, and I kind of swung at it, rolled it over a little bit. All I thought was, you know, 0-2 right here, just touch it, try not to be too big, and just, you know, you know, stay short. And stayed up the middle, and I got a good pitch to hit.
All right, well, guys getting their swings tonight, and Tim Hudson having a great night on the mound. Michael Morse with a big fly. Dwayne and Mike, let's get it up to you.
All right, thanks to Amy, and thanks to Mike Morris for stopping by. And you win the first one, Mike, and now you start thinking about taking the series, and you look forward to tomorrow.
Well, you just sense that this team is relaxed offensively. I mean, remember when you back in the road trip, they were really grinded. They were not a loose bunch. Well, the win on Wednesday was huge. They had a day off. They were thinking good thoughts because of the great win, and they brought it right into tonight. But you go back to the first inning. I thought the first inning was the whole ball game. Tim Hudson started the ball game off, and he was looking for pitches that were working, and they weren't all working. He had a walk, he had a knock, and there was a situation there where it could have got weird. And he pitched out of the inning, and then the Giants go into the bottom half of the inning, and right away, Pagan single, boom, Hunter Pence triple. They would go on and put a 2-spot in the bottom of the first, and that really set the tone. Hudson goes back out there the second inning, relaxes, finds a great rhythm, pitches through the 7th. And the rest of the night, it just seemed like an easy victory. They never are, but it just seemed that way because of how well he pitched and how they added on with the offense.
So another sellout crowd goes home happy. Final score, Giants 5, Indians 1. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews, and the wrap is coming up at first. Let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio.